Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the WWE Extreme Rules 2021 post-show. We're going to do the match of the night. We're going to give this thing a rating on 10. Sasha Banks is back. Roman beats the Demon. Johnny North is in the house. Let's do it.
Start.
Oh yeah. What up, Johnny?
I like that song. Rockin'.
Yeah, that's fun. The main event, I think a lot of people are upset about.
Yeah, not too good.
Yeah.
Not
Get it
too
off our chests.
good. Let's get into it. Big Johnny, I want to give a shout out though to some of the people on the team. I got Angelo Contagones in the chat. He's a member, super chat master. Leor S saying keep up the great content, guys. Thank you, Leor. Thank you for your membership. Doug Hepburn says El Contador for life. Thank you for the membership, Doug. Thank you for your support. Thank you to all the members. If you haven't become a member yet, become a member. Join. Click that join button beneath me here, or go to join.ringsidereport.net. You could like this video as well. Subscribe. Do all the things. El Contador, Johnny North is in the house. And I do want to talk a little bit about your match that we saw on Friday night at the MEW. Great show, great match, great arms. My God, John, you're bigger than ever. I can't believe how huge you are. Like, I see you here in the little box, but I don't get a full scope of how gigantic you've become. You look bigger than ever, John. You're looking jacked, baby. Looking fantastic. Congratulations.
Well, I'm no Roman Reigns, but I try.
Well, I think you're bigger than Roman, to be quite honest. You looked huge. Johnny North there. I'm seeing Matthew in the chat. Matthew was a young man that I met at the show. Great meeting you, Matthew. Matthew was at the show. He says he's a viewer of our show, regular viewer, John, and he was at your match on Friday night at MEW at the M-Telus. So shout out to you, Matthew. Nice meeting you. Very cool. Nice to know that we have a younger fan base as well. It's not just us old guys here, John, us old WWE fans from the 90s, you know? We got some young fans as well, and it was good to meet Matthew. Good to see him. Good to know that the youth is being well-educated on professional wrestling, you know?
Also, we're with it.
Yeah, we're cool.
Yeah.
We're cool guys.
We're not out of it.
Johnny, you're cool, man. You're a cool guy. Let's talk about the main event, though. Main event tonight. Roman Reigns beats the Demon Finn Balor after the spear. A lot happened, though, at the finish. So Roman spears Finn through the barricade. They're both down. Finn has been attacked by the Usos. He's taken the Usos out, put one of them through the announce table. Roman spears him through the barricade, and the lights start to flicker and flash, and the red lights come on, and you hear the dum 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 of Finn Balor's theme song, and Finn is face down on the mat outside the ring and starts convulsing like a heartbeat to the music. This is the Demon
and the red light.
And the red light that was like a spotlight on him. This was the Demon hulking up. It was bizarre, right? Just the convulsion. And then he gets up and he starts beating up Roman Reigns. And his music is playing. And there are red lights in the arena, kind of like the Fiend lights used to be. The lights are dimmed. Everything is like Finn Balor Demon style. There's smoke coming out from under the ring that you could see earlier in the match. There was like a little smoke coming out of the ring, and you're like, is the ring on fire? What's going on? No, it was just the Finn Balor smoke steam effect that was on early for some reason during the night. So there was like, you know, smoke around the ring, and Finn is beating up Roman, and he hits him with a chair, and he tosses him in the ring, and he sets him up for the coup de grace, And the Usos aren't there to pull Finn out of the ring this time after the coup de grace like they were earlier in the match. Finn goes to the top rope, and it breaks. And he falls off the top rope. And then the normal lights go back on. All the effects are off. Roman hits the spear, 1, 2, 3. And then after the match, Roman starts pointing up like he had help from God in this match. Because, of course, Roman was battling the demon, right? So if you're thinking biblical, which apparently the WWE was thinking in biblical terms for this match, because after the demon was taken out by some freak occurrence of the top rope breaking for some reason, Roman Reigns hit the spear and was able to win. He then pointed up and also prayed and crossed himself after the match. So
He also said the words, "Thank you."
yes, he did say he pointed up and he said thank you, like he was thanking some sort of guardian angel or God or Jesus or whoever he was thanking after that match that helped him vanquish the demon.
And this is the heel
Yeah, the heel got help from God.
to beat the demonic babyface.
The heel also, when he went to fight in the crowd, put on a mask. I don't know if you noticed, but he put a face mask on, like we all wear when we're in public spaces. Roman wore a mask when he was fighting in the crowd, and then when he got back in the ring, he took the mask off. This is also the heel kind of masking up and also getting help from God. It was very, very weird. The Finn Balor demon heartbeat convulsions to help him hulk up and attack Roman, weird. The top rope breaking that was possibly God helping Roman. I thought God's favorite champion was Miro the Redeemer. I didn't think it was Roman Reigns, but apparently it is. And it was just a very strange way to finish what was a pretty decent pay-per-view and a pretty decent match. It kind of leaves you scratching your head at the end of the show like, what did we just witness? What the hell was that?
Divine intervention.
John, what do you think of Roman Reigns and his godlike powers tonight?
Well, I think that's just the story they're going to go with for now. I think on Friday they're probably going to reveal what actually happened, that Heyman set something up to make sure the rope would break at that time. Something like that's going to happen. They're just going to play up this whole like he's like God's warrior or something for now. But that's just the story, I think.
Do you think that could lead to further discord between Roman and Heyman if Roman finds out? He's like, "Oh, you abused my faith, Paul. How could you?" And drives Paul back into Brock Lesnar's arms, or is that too complicated?
I don't know.
I mean, maybe they'll tease it.
Like Roman finds out
bit.
Heyman rigged it, and he's like, "Hey, I thought that was like my God helping me, and it was you. That's like you took advantage of." Exactly. It's too complicated.
Doug Hepburn dropping a super chat saying, "Matthew, tell your friends." Yes, indeed. Everybody watching, you can tell your friends about the Ringside Report Network. We appreciate you spreading the word. Harold Schneider dropping the super chat as well. He said, "It wasn't as bad a pay-per-view as I thought it would be, but the main event." Yup. I don't like that hocus pocus stuff. All that Finn Balor demon stuff I think is absolutely ridiculous. If he's unbeatable when he wears the face paint, why not always wear the face paint? The music and all that stuff, the convulsions, the heartbeat stuff, it was ridiculous. I did not like any of that. Roman possibly getting help from God was really weird. Why would God help the bad guy champion? It doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know why they had to involve that into this match. This was the finish they came up with. Like, holy shit. This is the best they could do tonight. Not good. No, it did not help the pay-per-view. I see JJ Mondesi hated the pay-per-view. It was not good. This main event was not terrible. Like, the match itself was not bad. It was just the finish. Right? Like, the match itself was fine. It was, fun to watch. It was fine up until Finn's music hit for a second time during the match. After the spear, everything up until the spear through the barricade, no problem with. everything that happened after the spear through the barricade was a goddamn atrocity. Like, it was horrible.
It's constant fumbles.
And it just, from the Finn stuff to Roman pointing up to the top rope breaking, and that's how Finn loses. Like, what the fuck was that? It was really bad. It was really bad. And I had low expectations for this pay-per-view. And I got to say, my low expectations were not met. This is not a good pay-per-view.
I didn't like it.
We had a couple decent matches, but other than that, it was not a great pay-per-view. A lot of bullshit. And the main event was a real sore spot for this whole thing. And it's too bad because it was a main event that, like I said, I was enjoying up until Finn's music hit again. And then we see all this bullshit. Like Alexa Bliss and Charlotte, there was no bullshit in that match. It was a straight-up wrestling match. There was no, doll interference from Alexa Bliss. There was no magic. There was no hocus pocus. So they had to do it somewhere. They did it in the main event. It was garbage. It was garbage main event. Really disappointing. John, on 10, what are you giving this pay-per-view?
I give it a solid 7.5. Like, I really enjoyed the pay-per-view overall. I thought it was a very good pay-per-view.
7.5.
I mean,
even with that stupid main event.
I mean, really, my only takeaways, like, I would take from the 10 is the fact that, again, I thought the pay-per-view was a little too long. I thought, like, it was one match too long, the pay-per-view. But, again, that's the whole 8 p.m. start. We're used to the 7 p.m. start. I'm really starting to feel like, these pay-per-views should start earlier. But that's just a little thing. And I felt like, as much as I like the 6-man tag, it really came out of nowhere. There should have been more build to that. That could have been better if there was more build towards that, I thought. And I wasn't really impressed by the Becky-Bianca match. Like, it was just okay, but it wasn't, like, main event level great. Like, as they kind of hyped it up to be.
I was really disappointed in that match because I had heard great things about their matches in the UK. They did a tour last week, and Becky and Bianca were main eventing and tearing the house down, stealing the show. There was a lot of buzz around their matches, so I was looking forward to seeing what they could do here on this show, and it was okay. But again, the finish was not great. Sasha Banks just shows up and attacks both of them. It was cool to see Sasha back. I like that Sasha is back. She says she's going to see them both on Friday night. I mean, I think everybody's going to be on the show Friday night because it's the draft, right? So who knows? They're going to do some major shifting on Friday. I doubt the WWE has any real ideas of what they're going to do with the draft, even though they should know. It's 6 days away, but hey.
They saw the commercial and like, oh, shit, it's Friday. Okay, we're having a production meeting after the show, everybody. Draft production meeting.
Yeah.
Vince's office. Let's go.
Tomorrow all day, they're going to be figuring out what to do on the draft that starts on Friday night. So, Sasha Banks interfering was cool because we see Sasha Banks. We haven't seen her since before SummerSlam, where she disappeared for no apparent reason, and we were never given a reason. She was booked for SummerSlam up until the match actually happened, and she no-showed, and it was never really clear why Sasha was never there. But, hey, she's back now, so I guess we're supposed to not ask any questions. Maybe one day we'll find out. Sasha will do a podcast and she'll answer those questions. Maybe. I don't know. Bianca beats Becky Lynch by disqualification there when Sasha attacked her first. Becky tried to kind of buddy up to Sasha Banks, but Sasha wasn't having it, and she attacked Becky as well. Like, the match was okay, but the finish was like, non-finish. Okay. There's Sasha. That's cool.
I think Bianca was about to hit her finisher.
Yeah.
The KOD on Becky.
And then Sasha stopped her.
Yeah. So Bianca's still chasing it.
Yeah, Becky looked like she was in trouble there, but Sasha Banks stopped her, so I guess we'll never know.
Or triple threat next time.
Yeah. That was a little disappointing.
Or, well, actually, we have no idea who will be on which brand. Maybe Sasha and Bianca will be split up.
I mean, Becky and Charlotte could just flip brands, and Becky could become the Raw champion. Charlotte could become the Smackdown champion. That could be the situation come this time next week, so we really have no idea. WWE could be totally flipping the script. I don't want to speculate on the draft right now because, like, who fucking knows what they're going to do. I saw Matthew ask a question, what was better, tonight's pay-per-view or the main event wrestling show with Johnny North? I would say definitely that main event wrestling show. The main event of that show was Jeremy Prophet and Trey Miguel, much better than tonight's main event, which says a lot. Johnny's giving this a 7.5. I got to say, I'm going to give it a 6.5. I didn't hate it, but I definitely didn't love it. It was a passable pay-per-view. We had some good matches. Like Johnny mentioned, that six-man tag to open up the show. New Day getting the win over Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, and Omos. Big E getting the win there for his team. AJ Styles tagged himself in during the match. Bobby Lashley didn't like that. Bobby tagged himself back in. Bobby then accidentally speared AJ Styles, which led to the distraction, which led to Big E hitting the big ending on Bobby for the 1, 2, 3 there. It was good, but it felt like, a first-hour main event of Raw. Didn't feel like a pay-per-view match.
Yeah, very standard.
It just happened. It was like, it was good. It was a good match. It was given maybe a little bit more time than it would have been given on Raw, but even then, probably not. You just would have had a commercial break in between. You know what I mean? It felt like a good Raw six-man tag, but nothing that blew me away. It wasn't match of the night for me. Match of the night for me was the Damian Priest, Sheamus, and Jeff Hardy triple threat. I thought that was excellent. Sheamus, again, showing why he is the MVP of the WWE, and I don't mean Montel Vontavious Porter. I mean the most valuable player of World Wrestling Entertainment, Big Sheamus. I think he's one of the best wrestlers in the world today, just top-notch. I'm giving it a 6.5. Johnny North is giving it a 7.5. I saw JJ Mondesi gave it a -3. He says 7.5 for an Extreme Rules pay-per-view without Extreme Rules. Way too high. He gave it a -3, John. He's saying that your ranking is too high. I see Bob Cote gives it a 7, kind of in between me and Johnny. Johnny's got it 7.5. I've got it 6.5. Bob gives it a 7. What do you think?
Like
it's gonna be minus.
No, not minus,
but
minus.
I don't know.
There's a lot of boring matches. There was like the Sheamus triple threat was a highlight for me as well.
So good.
Sheamus demonstrated some fantastic athleticism in that match. His Jeff Hardy dance is memeable forever.
The greatest thing ever.
But you know what? This Extreme Rules pay-per-view was severely lacking in gimmicks, brother.
Yeah.
No chair matches, no table matches, no nothing. And you know what? I'm giving this a 3.
Wow.
Because that angers me. The boring matches that could have used a little spicing up, and the fact that they didn't spice it up, they deserve to be punished.
But look at that.
Yeah, that's like 2.5 points right there. That's most of my enjoyment of this pay-per-view was that.
Sheamus sees the writing on the wall.
Sheamus is fantastic.
Look at that dance. That was my favorite moment of the whole night. When Sheamus first did the suck it, and then he's like, oh, wait, Jeff Hardy doesn't do the suck it. He does the dance. Let me do the dance. Did Sheamus forget what taunt Jeff Hardy uses there for a second? He's like, suck it, fella. And then he's like, oh, wait, no.
Yeah, I think he mixed them up, it looked like. But
3 on 10?
Yeah.
That's disrespectful to the wrestlers who put their bodies on the line, brother.
I could have put a little more.
Whew. I mean, the booking didn't help them for the no gimmicks, no stips, no stipulations, no hardcore matches. And you're right, this is Extreme Rules. The original Extreme Rules was ECW One Night Stand, one of the coolest, most hardcore pay-per-views in WWE history. Mm-hmm. That's where this pay-per-view comes from. That's where it turned into. And now we have this watered-down version of it. Paul Heyman should be ashamed of himself.
Yeah.
He should be ashamed to work on this show called Extreme Rules, where he's supposed to be the king of extreme. Goddamn one-night stand.
Those promos.
This pay-per-view used to be called ECW One Night Stand. And then they called it, I think, ECW Extreme Rules, and then just Extreme Rules.
It was One Night Stand. There was 1 year it was just One Night Stand, like WWE One Night Stand.
Okay. And then they changed it to what? Extreme Rules? Whatever. But, like, Paul Heyman's on this show. He knows what One Night Stand was, what it meant. Look at him standing behind Roman Reigns when he sees that Finn Balor bullshit and the top rope breaking. Paul Heyman standing there. You know what this pay-per-view used to be, Paul. How dare you?
At the Manhattan Center? Or the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Hammerstein, baby.
Hammerstein, yeah.
Matthew Henley giving it a 7 out of 10. A lot of people giving it a 7 out of 10.
I think for the most part, people actually like the pay-per-view. There's just some parts they didn't like, but for overall, I thought people enjoyed it.
I think people hated the main event, right? I mean, at least the finish. I mean, they may have liked the match, but, I mean, when you have a finish that bad, it's hard to like the match, you know?
I thought the Charlotte-Alexa match was also pretty bad.
It wasn't great.
They didn't have great chemistry. The Lily spot at the end, the Terry. I don't know.
Were you expecting much from this? Like,
I was expecting a little bit more.
I mean, if Alexa Bliss can't have a kick-ass match on pay-per-view given time with Charlotte Flair for the belt, can she ever have a kick-ass match? That's my question. Like, if Alexa Bliss isn't going to shine in this moment where there was no bullshit, there was no magic, this is just a straight-up wrestling match, if she can't have a kick-ass match here with Charlotte Flair, when is she going to have a kick-ass match? And really, I think the styles clashed a little bit. I think Charlotte works better with people that are her size or bigger. I think when she's working with these smaller wrestlers that can't take as much, it's not as good. Charlotte is good on offense and really giving some big moves. And, I mean, she can't do her moonsault to the outside on little Alexa Bliss. She'd kill her. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff that Charlotte couldn't do here with Alexa. And Alexa didn't really fill in the gaps of what we were missing from Charlotte's offense. There was just not much going on there. It was okay. But, again, it could have been on Raw, and it wouldn't have been out of place, right? Like, a lot of these matches that we saw tonight didn't feel like pay-per-view quality matches. They felt very much like TV matches. Like, no one really went above and beyond. A couple people did, a few. Damian Priest, Sheamus definitely did. Jeff Hardy, right? Those guys kicked ass. But Charlotte and Alexa, it was what it was. It happened. Charlotte destroyed the doll after the match. Alexa tried to attack Charlotte for revenge, but got tossed over the announce table. Charlotte left, and Alexa just cried.
For a long time.
For a really long time.
In front of her hometown fans that, love her. Like, she couldn't even, show up in front of them either.
Yeah.
It's like...
It's her hometown, too. It's your hometown. You're wrestling Charlotte for the Raw Women's Belt, and it's kind of a dud match. Disappointing.
Not impressed.
I thought it could be more.
I really think you put the bar way too high for Bliss. I think, when you think about it, this is her best match, in a long time. And I know you're kind of crapping on her a lot, but really...
Eva Marie, John, and before that, she was just a manager for Bray Wyatt. Of course this is her best match in a long time. She hasn't wrestled a real wrestler in a long time. When's the last time she actually wrestled a person that was a wrestler?
And not like a 8-person match.
Not like some sort of zombie match or Eva Marie or some bullshit. This is her best match in a long time. She's wrestling Charlotte Flair, the motherfucking queen. Of course this is her best match in a long time. This should be everybody's best match when you wrestle Charlotte Flair. The problem is, it was nowhere near Charlotte Flair's best match.
In the last couple months, Charlotte's had
I like
several
Alexa Bliss.
Good matches.
I want Alexa to succeed. Once in a while, she shows glimpses of okay, there's some cool shit here. I like her Twisted Bliss finisher, but she didn't attempt it or miss it. At least attempt the Twisted Bliss and miss it and hit the mat, take a bump, do something. There was just not much going on there. There's just not much in that match, and I expected more from Alexa. Sometimes wrestlers have to take their opportunities, right? Like JR says, maximize their minutes, pal, right? You got to go out there. It's your hometown. You're wrestling Charlotte for the belt on pay-per-view. You think these opportunities are going to come all the time? You think you're going to live the rest of your wrestling life having these matches all the time? I know Alexa Bliss has had a lot of title reigns and a lot of belts and a lot of big-time stories, but at a certain point, how long do you keep this going for?
Especially in today's climate, where wrestlers just get dropped.
Yeah, especially today with the WWE, especially with how much talent they have coming up through the ranks. I mean, when Alexa Bliss debuted on the main roster, there wasn't much competition, right? Now, you look at the landscape of the women's division in WWE. You got Charlotte. Becky's back. Sasha's back. Bianca Belair is there. Rhea Ripley's there. Nikki Cross is there. Asuka's going to come back. Bayley's going to come back. Like, where does Alexa really fit in? So to me, Alexa had to do way more tonight than maybe she ever has in her whole career. John, you say this was maybe Alexa's best match in a while. I mean, okay, but she's been wrestling Eva Marie, so that doesn't hold a lot of water. This should be Alexa's greatest match in her whole career because I feel like her career depended on it. If she has a knockdown, drag out, tear the house down match here in her hometown where the fans are on their feet on her side, you think, goddamn, Alexa Bliss, here we go, But after tonight, you think, well, do you need her? It's too bad.
Well, I don't think it's over with her and Charlotte, though. I think this is going to continue. I could definitely see a rematch.
Yeah.
It's more doll stuff.
I think the doll stuff is over, right? Alexa has snapped and she's crying now. It's over, right?
She'll build a new one. Like a Frankenstein
that's
monster thing from other dolls.
Very much a possibility. And you keep getting rematches. Eventually, they switch the title. So,
yeah,
especially with Charlotte.
I think Shayna might be next for Charlotte. I think they're going to move on from Alexa. Alexa might get drafted away. I don't know. I was not impressed with Alexa Bliss tonight. I was a little disappointed. I wanted to see more. The Usos beat the Street Profits to retain the Smackdown tag titles. It was okay. Double splash on Montez to retain. But again, felt like an ordinary SmackDown match. It was all right.
Most shocking thing of that match is I was talking shit about Angelo Dawkins, saying, he's kind of old. He's just there, just like the veteran. He's not that good. He's for Montez Ford, the young guy. Montez Ford is older than Angelo Dawkins.
That's surprising.
I had no idea.
Angelo Dawkins looks about 45, but he's what, like 31?
31. And Montez is older by a couple months. I'm
not
older than
much.
Angelo Dawkins.
Not by much.
Still. Could not believe it.
Angelo Dawkins looks about 40. He's like a Luke Gallows. Looks super old, but is not that old. Just he's got one of those old man faces.
And his physique, and it looks kind of bloated.
Yeah. He looks like an old brother that's been around for a long time, but he's not. He's just like a young upstart wrestler. It happens sometimes.
Blew my mind.
Well, regardless of their age, I just find the Street Profits, although they improve slightly, like I find they just still aren't like one of those top teams yet. Like I really felt the Usos were really carrying this match.
Yeah. This match was fine. It was the Street Profits getting their match with the Usos, but I never for 1 second believed the Profits were going to win. I think that was a problem with a lot of the matches tonight. You knew what was going to happen before the match took place. You knew that the Usos were going to retain their belts. You knew that Charlotte was going to retain. She wasn't losing to Alexa Bliss here. You knew that even Damian Priest was going to retain the U.S. title because he hasn't held it for very long. You knew that Becky was going to retain her title one way or another because she just won it at SummerSlam. And, of course, Roman Reigns is going to win, not only because he's Roman Reigns, but because Brock Lesnar is going to wrestle Roman Reigns next month at Saudi Arabia. So, you already know, they already set up Roman's next match with Brock Lesnar, and they're like, well, if Roman wins, then it'll be for the Universal title. But if he loses, it won't be. And it's like, what? Well, why would you book it for it not to be for the title? It's Saudi Arabia. It's going to be your main event with Brock Lesnar. Of course it's going to be for the title. Why did you just spoil that match before it happened? But that's what the WWE does. A lot of these matches, and that was a problem. Like, you're kind of, before this pay-per-view took place, I didn't give a shit about it because I knew what was going to happen. I could give you the results of this pay-per-view before it happened. And that's not good. You want to go into a pay-per-view wondering about some matches. I wasn't wondering about shit here. Did any result surprise you other than maybe Sasha Banks causing the disqualification? Like, to me, that was the only surprise on the show tonight. Sasha Banks returned. I was like, oh shit, there's Sasha Banks. I mean, I was surprised. I guess I wouldn't say surprised. I was shocked and disgusted with the Finn Balor finish. That surprised me in a bad way. But the only good surprise was Sasha Banks' return. None of these match finishes were surprising, right?
And even then, the Sasha return is just because, well, where the hell has she been?
Yeah. Here comes a draft. You know, she should come back. But did anything surprise you tonight, John?
Well, the 6-man, I mean, we weren't expecting that match whatsoever. So for them to have that match was a surprise.
Okay. I mean, you figure they'd give something for Big E. They'd throw something together.
But, like, when you saw
Honestly,
that
I didn't think
6-man...
so.
When you saw that 6-man was announced, were you like, holy shit! A 6-man tag with Omos in it? They go crazy. I mean, you know, it's like, oh, cool, they're doing a 6-man. I guess it's another match we have to sit through, I suppose.
I was looking forward to Big E against like AJ, and to me, that looked very interesting. I'd love to see that one-on-one.
Yes, I would as well. I like AJ Styles. I like Big E. Them wrestling for the WWE Championship makes a lot of sense to me. I don't know if that's where they're headed. I know that they are headed towards Big E versus Bobby Lashley tomorrow night on Raw. It's going to open up the show. Interesting promos from Bobby Lashley and Big E tonight. Yeah. Bobby Lashley cutting a backstage promo says Big E is chicken shit and dares him to defend the WWE title tomorrow night on Raw. Chicken shit. I mean, this is before 9 p.m., all right? I'm trying to watch this pay-per-view with my four-year-old son. A little respect.
Well, and he can happen on pay-per-view.
WWE used to never swear. What happened? Trying to be like AEW?
They've had a couple.
WWE's like totally trying to be like AEW. AEW comes on, they start swearing. WWE's like, we're going to say shit too. You know, AEW gives away their main event at the top of the show. WWE's like, we're going to do that too. WWE title match, start of Raw. You do Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega. Well, we've got Big E and Bobby Lashley. Huh? And we're like, yeah, well.
It's okay.
Well, I think WWE always has like some swear words. It's just they're limited how many they can use. So I think, you know, you got the one right there. I think,
usually son of a bitch.
Yeah, usually it's that, right? They can use that once or twice a show.
Yeah.
John,
there's different rules with WWE. I don't need to say the words. You said the words for me.
Sometimes they say asshole. Kevin Owens.
There you go.
Kevin Owens used asshole once or twice. He called like Seth Rollins an asshole. Of course, Vince, you know, once used a word I will not repeat in regards to John Cena.
Oh my God! Don't say that.
Yeah, Vince saying that.
Vince once used the N word. A lot of guys used to use the F word, not the UCK word, the other F word the on WWE TV.
Jerry Lawler.
Didn't Bret Hart use it maybe one time?
I think he said
he used the S word.
He said it. Can I say?
Super chat. No, let's not.
It starts with an H.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's a lot of swearing in wrestling. It happens.
And Angelo dropped super chat. He says the NFL was much better today than what you guys. Better today than what you guys thought of the pay-per-view. I guess I didn't miss anything.
I think he said like not our like the pay-per-view wasn't that good.
I thought he's saying because it reads like the NFL was much better than what you guys are doing right now. Like, man, I'm not gonna watch this.
It does read like that.
It does read like that, but I think he meant the NFL was better than what you guys are saying the pay-per-view was. I think Angelo watched the NFL and he didn't watch the pay-per-view and he didn't miss much. But the way the super chat is worded, it's like the NFL is much better than what you guys are doing right now talking about the pay-per-view. You guys are terrible compared to professional football, which I guess if you're a big professional football fan, like maybe, but I don't know, man. I never see no NFL guys do Vince McMahon impressions, so I think, quite frankly.
Did you see what happened in the Jacksonville game?
No. Did Tony Khan come out? He owns the team.
Yeah, it was like.
Well, they were talking about like Darby Allin came out or something in like the mascot outfit and did like some crazy jump. That's what people were saying.
Really? Darby Allin coffin dropped some NFL players? That's pretty cool.
I don't know if that actually happened. I think something on Twitter or something about that. Darby Allin dressed up as the mascot.
Big E quoting Stanley from The Office in his promo, which I thought was pretty cool. Asked Bobby Lashley if he's lost his mind, because he'll help you find it. Classic Stanley from The Office line, one of the best lines there from classic character Stanley
Hudson
in The Office. I don't know if you caught that, John, but when Big E said that, Bobby Lashley, have you lost your mind? Because they'll help you find it. It was really in the cadence of Stanley as well. I know what Big E was doing there, and he accepted the match for tomorrow night on Raw. John, I saw you tweet about this match as if you think there's a chance that Big E might lose. I do not think he will lose. He won the title 2 weeks ago. They can't kill this push now.
You misread that.
Okay, good.
The way I see it, it's like this is the true test for Big E right now. Like, depending on how the ratings go, because they've hyped this, say this is going to start the show, and this is him as the champion. So if he's starting the show and it gets a bad rating, I can see his title reign not last that long. But if it gets a good rating, I can see his title reign lasting longer.
So this is a test, you think? Do people want to tune in to see Big E?
Definitely.
I don't know. I think that's unfair if it is a test, because it's not really an indictment of Big E if people don't tune into this match. I think it's an indictment of the WWE's poor storytelling abilities, where no one believes that Big E's going to lose tomorrow. Like, god damn, how many matches can they do where you know the outcome before it happens? Big E will not lose the WWE title to Bobby Lashley tomorrow night on Raw. You could have as many matches as you want to kick off the show. If you know what's going to happen before the match takes place, you're less inclined to tune in. It's very simple. WWE doesn't seem to understand this. They had a whole pay-per-view that if you watch this show, even casually, you could easily predict every outcome in every single match. Now, tomorrow night, they have a match that they're trying to draw you in with. WWE title match to start the show. Big E defending against the guy he took it from 2 weeks ago, like he's going to fucking lose here. Come on. Like, that's not Big E's fault if nobody tunes in. That's the WWE's fault for giving us a match that nobody believes in. If you told me Big E tomorrow night is going to defend the WWE title against AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Matt Riddle, a number of different guys.
One of his New Day friends.
Kofi Kingston, right? You'd be like, oh, shit. Big E versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE title to open up Raw tomorrow night. You'd be like, what the fuck is going to happen here? How do they solve this? What's going to happen? Big E versus Bobby Lashley. I mean, Big E hit the big ending on Bobby Lashley tonight. 1, 2, 3. I saw it happen tonight. Why wouldn't it happen tomorrow? Why wouldn't it happen tomorrow? Also, AJ Styles probably cost Bobby Lashley the match because AJ got speared by Bobby tonight, so a little revenge. Big E probably... I mean, I'm giving you the finish here. AJ Styles shows up, distracts Bobby Lashley. Big E hits the big ending. 1, 2, 3. Big E wins. There's your finish.
AJ's a babyface now.
Or whatever. AJ's just doing it so he can insert himself into this program, and it'll be AJ versus Bobby versus Big E for a little bit, and then maybe, Bobby phases out, or he doesn't, and we just kind of move on from there. Because I don't think you can do Bobby, Big E long term. It's boring. Throw AJ Styles in there. It's more interesting. Sorry, John. Go ahead.
I'd rather see Big E get the clean win, actually, because he hasn't really got a clean win since becoming WWE champion. It'd nice to see him actually get that
It would.
tomorrow.
You think they'll give it to him? I don't.
They should. They should, though.
Well, yeah. Should have had him beat Roman last week in that tag team match. Or the triple threat.
No.
He's got to beat Roman once. Why not? In a match that means nothing on his show? Roman's a visitor on Raw. But I guess it's his yard no matter where he goes. But, whatever. Big E should beat Bobby Lashley tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be a clean victory, though. I really don't. We'll be on after Raw tomorrow night to recap everything that happens on Monday Night Raw. But I don't understand why the WWE insists on giving us matches where the outcome is easily predictable. Like AEW.
It's very predictable, too.
It is, but it isn't. Like, they do a good job of once in a while giving you some matches where you're like, I don't know. Like that Bucks Lucha Brothers match. Going into it for the tag titles. I thought the Bucks would win. I was surprised.
Right. I mean, there's always, I think, one match, usually a show, where it's like, it could go the other way. It's not completely impossible. Like the triple threat match, yeah, Priest could win, but it's a triple threat match. He could also lose without getting pinned, so it could have happened.
I didn't think that he was going to lose. Jeff Hardy's not winning the title here. Sheamus just lost the title. I didn't think Damian Priest was going to lose. I really didn't feel that at all. That was not one where I thought it could go either way. I don't think we had a single match on this pay-per-view that I thought could go either way. Not a single one. But that Damian Priest, Sheamus, Jeff Hardy match was so damn good. Sheamus hits the brogue kick on Jeff. Priest rolls up Sheamus for the 1-2-3. Excellent match. Match of the night. Sheamus doing the Jeff Hardy dance on the top rope. Amazing. Sheamus, when he does the Irish Curse backbreaker on Jeff, and Jeff lands like almost vertical on that backbreaker. Do you see the way Jeff's head landed on that backbreaker?
Yeah, he's done it before.
It's pretty cool.
I know.
Those great wrestlers,
Match
they just take those bumps.
Match was good. Just there was unfortunately some moments where it got a little sloppy. Unfortunately, it took away a bit from the match.
Oh well, that Hardy and Priest spot where looked like it was like a swinging neck breaker, and then, or like a twist of fate, and then like they were kind of twirling around, and they fell into each other.
There was that spot, and when Priest was supposed to do the chops onto, or the clubs to Sheamus, and he just fell off the ring apron.
Still, though, it was by far match of the night. By far match of the night.
I don't know, it's tough. The main event was pretty good. I mean, take away what you think about the finish, because I think the finish is a story that will be told later on. So I think it'll make sense in the end. Just tonight, it feels kind of odd, but in the end, it'll make sense.
It's not going to make sense. It's just going to be, part of the gimmick, and it'll be dumb. I mean, it may make sense, but it won't be good. But, I mean, that match was all right, but, man, that finish takes so much away from it. I think that the U.S. title match, Jeff Hardy, Sheamus, Damian Priest, match of the night, the crowd was really into it. The crowd wanted Jeff Hardy to win, too. The crowd was really behind Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy's so good. Sheamus is so good. Damian Priest was there. He's all right. He's good, Damian Priest. Damian Priest is good, but he's just not on the level of a Sheamus or a Jeff Hardy. Those guys are Hall of Famers. Sheamus seems like he's in his prime right now, which is crazy because he's like 40-something years old. When he did that thing where he pulls himself up to the top rope and he sits and he goes and he looks to the front row and he's like, I still got it! And I was like, hell yeah, Sheamus, you still got it. You're the man. What a fucking man that guy is. God bless Sheamus. What a guy.
Yeah, I noticed Priest spent a lot of the match on the outside.
Yeah, good.
It was mostly Jeff and Sheamus.
Yeah, well, that's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
It was like Jeff and Sheamus, wrestling a match, and they're very, very good wrestlers. Future Hall of Famers, legends. Can't get better than Jeff Hardy and Sheamus as far as pro wrestlers. These guys are two of the greatest ever.
And Priest was winning the match, so they got more of the actual action in the match, so that made sense.
Mm-hmm. Is that not your match of the night?
No, I go with the main event. I know you're upset about the finish, but again, I understand it's going to make sense in the end, so I don't mind it.
I mean, you could say that a lot at the start of a lot of wrestling storylines, and it does not go anywhere.
Yeah, why are you giving WWE so much credit by saying it's gonna make sense in the end? When does their shit ever make sense in the end? What are you talking about? You talking like they have cohesive stories? Like their stories make sense and it's all good? What are you saying, Sean? Never makes sense in the end. It's always ridiculous.
I think you can trust it when they have Roman involved. They make sure it's the best it could possibly be.
Was this God that helped Roman, you think, tonight? Was it God? Is that what they're trying to say? Or is it like Paul Heyman pretending to be God? An impersonation of God? Like, what's happening? Because Roman definitely pointed to the sky, said thank you, crossed himself, did a prayer. Like,
very Hogan.
Yeah, like, what happened there? Is this God? Or is this some sort of... I mean, what is happening? What exactly is the explanation? If you think it's going to all tie together, give me your best case scenario how this makes sense. Because honestly, it's so fucking stupid that a wrestler is helped by God. It's like, well, then why would God ever give any of your opponents any kind of chance if he could just, break the top rope and stop you from losing your championship? If God cares so much, why not just break all your opponents' necks before the match happens? And then you don't have to wrestle them. Like, why doesn't he just kill Brock Lesnar now so Brock's not such a scary demon, Finn is the demon. Brock is the beast incarnate. He's also some sort of satanic creature. I guess it's going to build towards Roman and Brock, and Roman representing the good and Brock representing the evil, even though Roman is the heel and Brock is, I guess, a babyface. I don't know. It makes absolutely no sense to me. It is fucking ridiculous. Anytime you involve God in a storyline, it gets really weird. I think Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker did it pretty well. When Vince McMahon beat God in a match, that was pretty good. When God no-showed, that was good. Vince beat him by forfeit, I think.
I thought he pinned God.
Oh, yeah. Was it the light that came to the ring and he, pinned God?
Or he pinned Shawn Michaels in the light or something?
John, how did Vince beat God?
It was something about in the light or something, like he pinned it or he turned off the light or something like that. So that's how he, I think, beat God.
Yeah, well, whatever. That was probably the best use of God in pro wrestling, Vince versus God. But this, Roman being helped by God or whoever, and as a heel as well, it's like, what's your best case scenario, man? How do you make this play out where it's like, oh, this makes sense? See, great story.
Yeah, they'll do something like you had a guardian angel of some kind.
Well, that
and maybe it'll end up being
Umaga.
It could end up being Paul Heyman in the end, who was the one behind it all, who more likely is, and then Roman will get mad.
To trick Roman.
That's what I was telling you guys.
That's such a bad
That was
story.
what I was telling you guys.
I hate that story.
Then Roman will be like, you abused my faith in God, which is very personal to me, so I hate you, Paul. And so I cast you out of the bloodline.
You Jew, Paul Heyman, right? How terrible is that? The Jewish guy fucks with the guy who's crossing himself and is very religious.
That's Vince.
The Jewish guy is messing with the religious Christian guy's faith and stuff. That seems a little off color. I don't really like that.
Remember Vince? He was backstage once talking to Paul Heyman. There's a pause, and then Vince goes, "What do I have to say it in Yiddish?"
Yeah, that's true.
That seems pretty endemic of the way they talk to Paul Heyman, I think.
Yeah, I don't really like that. I hope that doesn't happen. But hey, Paul Heyman has sold his soul to the WWE, so I guess whatever happens, happens.
Maybe it's Heyman's storyline.
So Heyman is the one who rigged the top rope, and he's doing this to make Roman think that God is performing miracles upon his behalf? What the fuck is that? That's ridiculous. It's one of the most convoluted, dumbass storylines I've ever heard of. That better not be what they're doing. I hope it's just God. It's just Roman is, touched by God. He's just blessed. Look at him.
Yeah. You guys like God, so like Roman.
Or it comes out that, it's actually Vince McMahon, and he's like, I am God. When he's thanking God, he's thanking me, damn it. And Vince rigged the top rope because he just loves Roman, and he thinks Roman is the best. That's why he's made him the top star in his company. That would make sense to me if it's just like, yeah, it was me. It was Vince. I paid a guy to rig the top rope. Roman, he's pretending like it's God, but really he's saluting me. When he's thanking me and praying, he's praying to me. I'm God. I'm Vince McMahon. McMahonism, pal. That I would buy into. That's the only way this kind of ties together and works for me. If it's Vince. Because that makes sense to me. It's like, yeah, there's a guy who owns the company. He's rigging the top rope for his top star so that, he wins his match and Finn Balor gets fucked over. Because he doesn't like Finn, because we've seen Vince in the ring with Finn before. Like, look at you, pal.
Yeah.
Look at all these guys. That's a lot of beef, pal. Then I look at you. I don't know. That promo was fucking killer.
All that beef.
Look at all that beef, pal. It was like John Cena and a couple other guys.
Right back?
I don't know, but he was like not impressed with Finn. He was like, you're small. Look at all these beef guys I have. It's a lot of beef, pal. So, we know Vince doesn't like Finn. Vince rigged the top rope. Roman is thanking God, a.k.a. Vince. That works for me. But if it's actually like Paul Heyman tricking Roman, using his faith against him, that doesn't work.
Yeah,
Don't like it.
Pretty melodramatic, pretty soap opera.
It's pretty dumb.
WWE is a soap opera. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, but like it could be a good TV action drama instead of like a crappy soap opera with weak stories. Like it could be a little bit more than what it is. Like it could be many things. It could be like a cheesy soap opera, but it could also be like a cool action drama show that's more fun. I've seen it be a variety of different things, Johnny North. We've seen the WWE in the good and in the bad.
And the ugly.
Goddamn, pal. So that was WWE Extreme Rules tonight. Roman Reigns over Finn Balor in the main event to retain the Universal title. Bianca Belair gets a disqualification win over Becky Lynch. Becky retains her SmackDown championship when Sasha Banks interferes and beats them both up. Damian Priest retains the U.S. title when he beats Sheamus and Jeff Hardy. Priest rolling up Sheamus for the win there after Sheamus hit the brogue on Jeff. Charlotte Flair beats Alexa Bliss after the natural selection, hits the pinfall to retain the Raw Championship. The Usos retain the SmackDown Tag Team titles with a win over the Street Profits. New Day in the opening match beat Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, and Omos. And in the pre-show kickoff match, it was Liv Morgan dressed like Shawn Michaels in DX, beating Carmella via pinfall after Liv's finishing move deal. Get you a little picture of Liv Morgan here. Look at that gear. You see the X's on her top there? She got a big X on her butt as well. The black and green. Black gear, green X's like that. She looked like she was in DX. I thought I missed something. Did she get inducted into DX or what? Was it that DX gear? Good thing Shawn Michaels wasn't on the card. He would have made her change her gear, pal.
I think that's her thing, and she just wears like tribute gear, different like wrestlers or different eras, I guess.
Okay.
Is that what that was? Tribute gear? Or was it just accidental? Because Extreme Rules had a lot of X's and stuff, so maybe it was Extreme Rules gear? I couldn't tell.
I think that was intentional. I mean, that X is way too much like DX.
Yeah, it was very DX-like.
The black and it was the right shade of green.
Yeah.
I want to give a shout-out to Angelo Contagones. He is our Super Chat leader tonight. Thank you to Harold Schneider for dropping the Super Chat. Doug Hepburn as well. Doug wants to know if we're going to be reviewing the Dark Side of the Ring tonight. I guess we could talk about the
Canyon.
The Canyon.
I didn't see it.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
No?
All right. Well, we won't talk about it then. John hasn't seen it. We'll talk about it next time we're with John. I guess, John, you'll be back with me, what, Wednesday night after Dynamite?
Is the plan.
So we'll talk about Chris Canyon then, right? We'll do the recap of Dark Side of the Ring then after Dynamite. And then we'll do the recap of the next Dark Side of the Ring next Friday when we are back after Smackdown. We are on after all the WWE pay-per-views, all the AEW pay-per-views, on after Raw, after Dynamite, after Smackdown. I will be back here tomorrow night right after Raw with this guy over here. We'll be back here tomorrow night after Raw with you, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be back Wednesday night with Johnny after Dynamite, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and then once again on Friday night, 10 p.m. Eastern after Smackdown. Angelo wants to know, when will people see Johnny in the ring again? John, do we know?
Oh, you heard it, didn't you? You were at the show.
December.
Right. I don't know if they said the exact date, because I don't know if that's confirmed. But I know December, probably. So wait and see.
Probably close to Christmas or something, I presume.
Oh, I hope not. That would be killer. No one would go to any shows right around Christmas, I would think. I mean, if you're going to do a show in December, it better be early.
Like a few days before, you know. They can have shows
Oh,
on. Like, wrestlers used to work on Christmas all the
do it.
time, didn't they?
Yeah, but around here, you don't want to go to a show around Christmas time. Early December is a better idea.
It's a different time frame. I mean, back then it was kind of different. Now it's like no one goes out and does anything anymore. Even after
On like
Christmas,
the 22nd?
I find like it's so
People
dead.
are out the 22nd.
Nah, man, no one's going to a wrestling show then. Johnny North, your match was fantastic. You were great. You and your tag team partner defeating Aiden Prince. Who was that guy?
Aiden Prince, I don't know if a lot of people know, like he's one of the best like Canadian independent wrestlers going right now. Like he's fantastic. I think you saw how he worked, like just amazing. Like I know it's a handicap match, and I think a lot of people thought, you know, it's kind of unfair, but he's an amazing wrestler. Like he can keep up with two guys easily, and I thought he did a great job of that. Like he's very underrated.
As are you, man. As are you. You were fantastic.
Well, I'm not underrated. I'm here, so I'm not underrated.
That's right. You were fantastic. The what do you call it? Cutter that you did there on the outside, incredible stuff. Your standing elbow drop that you do, just beautiful. Standing sit down elbow drop, so nice, John. So nice. Such nice. Is that a new move?
Super chat. Super chat.
Like a lot of the moves in that match, like I thought were just fantastic. Like you said, I think you tweeted about it, if not mistaken, right? Like
Your
you
moves.
tweet about, I think, the match. I think you just tweeted about the moves, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was perfect. Like everything about that, just perfect. Like you had the match completely described perfectly. Like I thought, and someone mentioned about you doing like broadcasting. Like honestly, that should happen.
Well, there you go.
Hopefully, it does happen.
Here's the there's the promoter.
That's funny that you were ready with it. That's amazing.
I'm ready. I'm always ready for you, John. I know where you're
Super
going
chat.
before you
Super
go there.
chat.
There's the promoter. He says that we'd make a pretty good broadcast team. There we are at the show. I was involved in the show asking a question to Santino during the presidential debate. Santino won, and he's now the president of MEW Wrestling, so we definitely will see Santino again soon, and you may see me behind the mic more often for MEW, which is pretty exciting stuff. Main event wrestling.
I definitely disagree with Santino winning. I definitely thought Mike Patterson should have won. I think Mike Patterson would have been a better president, in my opinion. Like, look, think about it though. All his wrestlers won on that show.
They cheated.
He's a winner.
Win. They cheated.
They still won. That's what doesn't matter how you win. You win.
Brad Alexis.
And they all won.
Brad Alexis cheated to win. Jeremy Prophet had help from Brad Alexis and Mike Patterson cheating to win. I don't know if you noticed my shirt. This is a Brad Alexis shirt I'm wearing.
Nice. You bought merch. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I got a.
You know,
there wasn't a lot of merch for sale, but I saw Brad Alexis after the show selling some shirts, and I said, "Give me a shirt, Brad Alexis." So,
I can tell you a very cool Brad story that happened after the show. We were at one of the restaurants. I think it was Midway. It's just a little bit past like where the venue was.
okay.
And there was this guy who wanted to get on his bike and leave, like his motorcycle, but he was like completely out of it, like so drunk. And Brad took his keys, so he couldn't leave.
All right. Was this a guy you knew?
No, just some random guy, whatever. But like everyone could see, like this guy's completely like out of it, you know.
Yeah.
And Brad saw what he was trying, and he was like trying to find his keys, couldn't find his keys, whatever. Brad just saw it in his hand, whatever. It was in his hand. He didn't realize he was so drunk.
Yeah.
Then Brad just took it.
Did the guy know that he took it?
He got pretty combative.
I think
tried
he
to take away their keys.
Yeah, but the guy was so out of it, he didn't even realize he had his keys, right?
Right.
And he only figured it out, like he's trying to put it in like to the cycle, right? And he just couldn't do it. And he's like, "Oh, where's my keys? Where's my keys?" And like, he spent like 2-3 minutes trying to figure out where the keys were until Brad finally keyed in. Yeah, he had the keys. Then security helped out with that from the restaurant, and yeah, they kind of took care of the guy. But
All
Brad
right,
did
then.
a great thing right there. He kind of stopped it right there from happening. That's pretty awesome.
Well, he's a good guy.
For sure.
Good guy, hell of a wrestler,
Even
hell
though
of
he's
a
a heel.
rapper. Even though he's a heel, babyface in real life. How was Santino? You hang out with Santino?
Not so much, you know. Mike's a
right.
cool guy. Santino, you know, whatever. These baby faces, you know, don't like hanging out with
Wow.
baby faces so much.
Wow. Not giving any kind of love to the Santino. That's my man, Santino, all right? I'm on Santino's side. I like Mike Patterson.
Oh, you
and all.
voted for him?
Of course I
Ooh.
voted for Santino. He's, well, yeah. Brian Firth dropping a super chat saying long matches that got lots of time, 6 out of 10. That seems to be roughly where people are headed with this pay-per-view, right? 6 out of 10. I gave it a 6.5. You gave it a 3. You really hated it. Johnny gave it a 7.5. A lot of people's giving it 7. Brian Firth there dropping a super chat, giving it a 6 out of 10. Doug Hepburn says, great tea, Ben. He likes your T-shirt.
Thank you.
Bret Hart.
You got the same one.
I do have the same one. Doug Hepburn then drops another super chat, says the super chat champ is here. Doug Hepburn took the lead for the super chat there, but then Angelo Contagonis dropping a super chat, and he is now the super chat leader. He says the super chat champ is here. So Angelo and Doug possibly battling a little bit. But yeah, it was a really fun show. Really fun to see MEW in action. Great to be back at a wrestling show for the first time in almost 2 years. Haven't been to one since before the pandemic, so it was very cool to be back at a wrestling venue and see wrestling again. It was really cool to be around people. I brought AJ there with me. AJ and I went out to eat before the show. We had a lot of fun at the show. We saw Johnny North wrestling. We saw our buddy Jeremy Prophet, who was in the main event, who was victorious in the main event, looking fantastic as he always does. Our buddy Jeremy. We saw Paulie. What do they call him in the promotion? It's not Paulie Platinum, is it?
Yeah, same name, yeah.
Paulie Platinum. All right, we saw Paulie Platinum in action. We saw Sexy Eddie in action. Like, there was a lot of Brad Alexis, a lot of top talent from the city, from Canada that was on this show. So it was very good to see so many great wrestlers, so many fun wrestlers to watch. Great to see. Great to see Johnny. Great to see Eddie. We love Sexy Eddie. We love Jeremy Prophet, you know? We love those guys.
Local legends.
Friends of the show, right? Especially
Well,
Johnny.
yeah, it's crazy.
John
I
is
haven't
the show.
seen Jeremy in like so long. Like
Right.
that was the amazing thing too, because Jeremy kind of saved the show in a sense, right? Because it was supposed to be Rich Swann in the main event, and then like that afternoon they found out, oh, it's not going to happen, and Jeremy stepped up, saved the show.
Yeah, Rich Swann couldn't make it past the border. I don't know what happened there, but Jeremy came in, saves the show, and main events and wins. It was pretty cool. Harold Schneider drops a super chat to take the lead. Thank you, Harold, dropping a super chat. Uh-oh, there's Angelo. Says, nice try, Harold. And now Angelo back in the lead, back as the super chat leader, which is a comfortable position, a position Angelo finds himself in. very often. We appreciate you guys, Harold and Angelo, dropping the super chats, Doug Hepburn, Brian Firth, everybody dropping super chats tonight after this WWE Extreme Rules show. Appreciate you guys supporting the Ringside Report Network. Everybody supporting the show tonight. I think we're about ready to wrap this sucker up. John, again, man, it was just great to see you wrestle. Great to see you. Unfortunately, I talk to you all the time, and I saw you I don't see you in person very often, but I saw you in person at the wrestling show, but I didn't actually get to talk to you at the wrestling show. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
Like, I talk to you, but then I don't actually see you in person. Then I see you in person, but I don't actually get to talk to you. It's a weird relationship we have, John.
Yeah, but you could understand that it's like crazy down in like a wrestling locker room. Like it's just madness. It's just getting out there. I think I tweeted to you, like, we were out until like 3-4 o'clock in the morning. Like, because like we kind of understood like this was going to be like a one-time thing. Like next time there's going to be wrestling, it's going to be wintertime. This ain't happening again. So to just go out in the town and just like have fun, that was like a one-time thing. But I also knew, and Jeremy very well, leaving a show takes a very long time. So
with Jeremy,
you don't. Yes. So you realize like you're gonna have to be there a very long time. So
yeah. Well, you know AJ very well, and it takes him a long time to get out of anywhere. But eventually, I was able to pull him out of there. It took a while. He was really trying to talk to Jacques Rougeau. I think longer than Jacques Rougeau wanted to talk to him.
Wow. If he talked off Jacques, that's amazing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
AJ could, I'm sure.
Do it.
Oh, no. AJ is, he was like talking to Jacques, and Jacques was like, all right, guys, all right. And AJ was like, hey, Jacques, we're going to have you on the show. Hey, Jacques, you know AJ. You know how he goes.
Oh, my God. I love
hey,
the
Jacques,
Mountie.
You're the best, man. You're the best, Jacques. And AJ. Uh-oh, here's AJ. He's on the chat now. But yeah, AJ was just going on and on with Jacques Rougeau. He was very excited to see Jacques Rougeau, as was I. We were all excited to see Jacques. And Jacques says you're going to be doing some work with him, so we'll talk about that in the future, I guess, John. Unless that's news to you, which you know.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. I mean, nothing's confirmed or not. We talked. That's about it.
Oh, okay.
Wheels are in motion.
Yep. AJ, very excited. It was a lot of fun to see Jacques Rougeau at the show. It was a lot of fun to hang out with AJ. And hey, I was part of the show too. We're in back-to-back segments, John. I was asking a question to Santino in the debate, part of the show. And then after that segment was over, it was Johnny North's match. I mean, it was the Wrestling Uncensored team just all over that MEW show. Pretty cool.
What was great about that show too is like it wasn't that long of a show. It's only 5 matches, but it was 5 good matches,
Yeah, everything was good on that show. Everything was good, top to bottom. Really good. And when Rich Swann drops out, it's like, oh, Rich Swann's not here. But then Jeremy Prophet comes out and is like, oh, it's even better than Rich Swann. It's Jeremy Prophet. I love this guy. I know this guy. Rich Swann's cool and all, and he's on Impact, but like Jeremy Prophet is, he's a guy I really like to see. Like, Rich Swann would have been cool to watch and all, but I personally watch Jeremy Prophet because I didn't know that he was going to be on the show, and he's a friend, so I was much happier seeing him. I was really happy to see Jeremy Prophet. Hope
Yeah,
he's
I
on the
agree.
next show too. Love to see you guys wrestle. And I did see that. What is it going to be? What's the match next time? It's like 1-on-1, and you're not allowed to be ringside for your guy?
I think El Chato against Aiden Prince. That's going to be the main event next show.
Right. And you can't be ringside for that. You're banned from ringside, John, because your team was cheating too much.
I think everyone's banned from ringside, if I'm not mistaken. Like there can't be any ringside interference whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well,
oh well.
I know you're going to be...
Santino sucks. That's it. That's all I have to say about that.
Down with the Morella administration.
Johnny really does not like the president of MEW because he's a babyface. But of course, we will see Johnny again at MEW, and I think you'll be seeing me there as well. So
maybe me.
Maybe you, maybe in the crowd, or maybe John will power slam you through a table.
I'll do it.
John's chops are goddamn devastating. I felt bad for Aiden Prince. At one time, you hit him with a double axe handle that was so goddamn painful looking. It made such a sound. Man, you hit hard. I love watching you beat people up. I love watching you hit people. At one point, the guy chopped you. You're in the corner, right? He chops you, and it looks like it just pissed you off because you just fire back with like a knife-edge chop that just lands with a thud, and then he just crumpled in the corner like you killed the guy. And he's selling, and it's a wrestling match and all, but goddamn, I know that those chops that you throw hurt. Like, I know that it hurts, and he's got to be feeling it, and it's just super hilarious to be sitting in a crowd and watch you beating folks up because I know it for sure hurts. I mean, he can take it. He's a wrestler. He's tough. But, when he chopped you and then you're like, fuck you, bam! I was like, oh, shit. Oh, you didn't say fuck you, but that was the general feeling.
I think it's always best to go with the whole Bret Hart, like, kind of frame of mind of doing this. Like, be solid. Not stiff, but solid,
Yeah.
I think Bret was always right about that.
So solid. Do you hear me laughing when you hit that guy? I was laughing so hard. I couldn't contain myself. I was the only guy laughing, too.
Acoustics are tough in wrestling shows, like you hear so many things going on, right? And the lights are so bright, too. Yeah. Like you see people, like unless you're down on the floor, it's really hard to see anything. Like the balcony is just white,
Yeah. Oh, also, El Contador is the name that you went under, right? Didn't I come up with that name? Isn't that my name? I invented that name.
I think you have to talk to Latinos about that.
Well, did I not come up with that name? Because at one point you were just the accountant, right? But I was like, well, you're an accountant for two guys that speak Spanish. Shouldn't you be like, accountant in Spanish, the El Contador? And I started calling you El Contador, and now all of a sudden you're being billed as El Contador in wrestling? Did I not come up with that, John? Why do I have to talk to the Latinos? You're the guy going under the name. Did they came up with it too? You came up with it independently, or did they steal it? I mean, it's okay. You can have it. I want you to have it. It's a good name.
The thing is, I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm pretty sure they came up with it. I'm taking credit.
You can believe that. They'll believe their own story, too.
Yeah, so. Okay. Well, it makes sense that we came up with it independently. I mean, it just makes logical...
But I feel like I remember this happening.
What?
You telling me that story, like, years ago, like, about John, and, like, he's in this group, and, like, he wears a mask, and you suggest El Contador. Like, it rings a bell.
Well, I definitely suggested it to him, but it's possible that those guys, also Spanish speakers... thinking, okay, well, we're two guys. Our tag team name is the Latino Connection. We have this big white guy under a mask. They're calling him the accountant. It would make sense if we just called him accountant in Spanish, El Contador. Like, that makes sense that they would have come up with that on their own as well, because that just seems like the logical move. So I will accept that they didn't rip it off from me. But if you wanted to give me credit for the naming of the character, I would take it. I would take the credit, but I don't need the credit. They can take it if they want it. They can have it. All right? I'm magnanimous.
Awesome.
Any money made on that name, you get percentage points.
Oh, yeah. If there's money, though, like if Vince ever licenses El Contador, like I want 50%. I'd like some money, please.
It's probably going to be more like 2%.
John, I want 50% of everything that you earn from now on. All right? You signed a contract. You know the rules. You know the deal.
If I sign something, I'll let you know.
No, you did. You did. I had you sign something years ago. You just forget.
You have to show me that paper, I guess.
I don't have to show you shit, John. All right. Thank you, John. You were the best. You are a champion. Give us a flex. Give us a flex before we go. You look so jacked the other day, crazy? Man.
Yeah, but it's like past midnight. Like, I can barely raise my arms right now.
John, don't flex past midnight, baby. Seriously, though, you looked bigger than ever. I don't know if it was the baby oil or the niacin or whatever, but you look gigantic. So congratulations on looking so huge and being such a cool wrestler. All right, John, you're the man.
Being in the gym all the time helps a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly amazing. It's amazing because most people got in worse shape after COVID. You seem to be in better shape. You and Jeremy, both in better shape now. seeing you than the last time I saw you, like a couple of years ago. Last time I saw you wrestle, right? So it's been a couple of years, and I notice a difference. You guys both look bigger and better than ever, which is a testament to your work and to your dedication, especially when you had no gym to go to. You found a way, and you stayed super jacked and got more jacked. So congratulations to you, Johnny. Anything is possible if you work hard. Hustle, loyalty, respect. Don't stop believing. Never give up.
C Nation.
C Nation.
Chain Gang.
I'll see you tomorrow night after Raw.